Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Engler Journey podcast. I'm your host, Olivia Vanderford, and today I am here with an Engler member who is sculpting her Engler journey, Katelyn Plambeck, and it's so nice to have you here today.
It's nice to be here.
Yeah, I know, and I'm excited to hear more about your story, and I know you've told me about your Engler experience, but you also have a unique college journey. You're graduating this year, right?
Yes.
So in 2 years, you're graduating, you're going on to be a part of rural law, right?
Yep.
So why did you want to be a part of rural law? Why is that a career that you're interested in?
Yeah, so I kind of track it back to my high school years. I really got back into agriculture, so to speak. I started with Intro to Ag in high school, and I just loved doing all of the ag stuff. I loved the ag world. I loved learning more about it. And then we got to senior year. I was in AP government, found out I really love policy. I really love reading old law cases. And I'm like, you know what? I can mix the two. Let's do rural law.
Yes. Well, I love history too. I totally agree with that. And so agriculture is so important to the Nebraska as a whole, the Midwest. What do you think is something that people should know about agriculture or why they should care about the industry?
Agriculture supports America. It is genuinely the backbone of American society. If we don't care about our American producers and make sure that they are protected, bad things will happen. And, we are kind of getting to a scary point right now with American producers. A lot of those tariffs are hurting them, although President Trump has, given back to farmers in the past, and we're looking forward to seeing how he helps farmers right now in today's industry.
Yeah, definitely. So you have a lot of knowledge about agriculture. A lot of our students here in the Engler program do, and I think that's where a lot of us connect through agriculture, through rural roots, through that community sense. So in the Engler program, you don't have a business per se, but you do some work for people, right? Pottery and sewing. So why did you get interested in pottery and sewing? Why do you enjoy doing those things?
So I kind of like doing a little bit of everything, so to speak. I've been sewing forever, since I was probably about 5 or 6. I started sewing, and then I got really big into pottery in high school in a ceramics class, and was really excited that I was able to go through Innovation Studios, through Engler, and start back and get back into pottery again. So.
Yeah, and I know you were telling me about this. You're planning on selling some pottery at the Englers?
Yes, I am. I should have time to get some more pieces done and be able to sell a good amount at the Englers.
Very cool. So what's the process of pottery? What's been one of your favorite projects you've worked on?
Yeah, so pottery is really fun to me. You can really do anything for anyone, anyhow. It's so much fun because you can just take your creative mind and do whatever you want. And so, when I go into thinking of what piece do I want to make like this week, I'm thinking, what do I want to maybe produce for someone that they're going to be like, oh, that's gorgeous, or oh, that means something to me. And so one of the pieces that I currently am waiting to see how it's finished was it wasn't the Scotts Bluffs Monument, it was the Chimney Rock.
Chimney Rock, yeah.
Chimney Rock. I made one of Chimney Rock, and I'm really excited to see how that piece turns out, because I feel like a lot of the people who live out in western Nebraska could really connect to be like, yeah, I love Chimney Rock. I went there as a kid, grew up around it, and so, I just like being able to make pieces like that.
Yeah, so the Chimney Rock you were talking about, is that just sculpted chimney rock, or is it on a cup?
No, so I made a little plate that has a little bit of an edge to it, and then I used glaze to draw out chimney rock on the piece. So
that's so cool. Yeah, I love western Nebraska.
Who doesn't?
Yeah. I know. It's great to highlight our state, the diversity we have in our state.
Yeah.
So you're very creative, and I know you said you also sew. Yes. And so who taught you how to sew?
Yeah, so my grandma, she was the one who taught me how to sew. I remember the first time she taught me how to sew was a pillowcase for Halloween so that I would have a pillowcase to trick or treat with. That was on theme. So.
Yeah, I love that. I love the memories and the connections to what some of the things are that we do today. And a lot of that comes from mentors, people that help us along the way. So what would you say about creativity? Telling people like to do something creative. How does that help you as an entrepreneur or as a student?
Yeah. So when I think about creativity, I think of the thoughts that just pop in our head, just random thoughts that pop in our head of, oh, what about this? Or what about this? When I think about creativity in my own sense, I genuinely try to do it in the moment, or else sometimes it just fades away. And if I can't do it in the moment, I'll try and find something to write it down. I'll put it in the notes in my phone and be like, okay, this is what I'm thinking in this moment. Come back to it later. And I think people should just really take the chances on their creativity. You know, it might seem like it's not a good idea in the moment, but who knows? Later on, it might turn out to be the best idea that you've ever had.
Yeah, definitely. And the Engler program, we've got a lot of people that are creative-minded, whether that's doing jewelry, woodworking, pottery like yourself. So you can really find it all here in Engler. So talking about the program, what have been some of your favorite classes you've taken, and what's some of the best advice you've gotten from those classes?
Yeah, so I took 101 with Hallie. I believe it was her first time teaching 101. And, you know, that class really just set the basis of the entire program for me. I came in, I was already pretty like, okay, this program is awesome. And that class just proved the program was awesome. She got me into her module, Mapping Your Mindset, I believe.
Yeah, the roadmap.
Yes,
yeah.
Roadmap. And it was around that time when I was actually told by my advisor that I would be graduating in 2 years instead of like my expected 3. And it was like freaking me out. I was genuinely like, what do you, like, I'm not supposed to graduate until 2027, not 2026. And so I sat down and I was able to talk to her and really like map out different things I want in life, like different ways I could go with my life. And it really just helped me like create that mindset of it doesn't matter what I do now because I can always change my mind later. So, you know, if I end up getting a job straight out of college, I don't have to stick with said job. I could go to law school like I really want to. And, you know, change my mind later in life.
Yeah, I love that because a lot of times coming into college, it can be stressful trying to figure out what path you want to go on. But having that option of you can do something else when you're out of college. Having entrepreneurship like a backup that you can do later in life as well, too. So, yeah, that's really great. And so what has been some of your other favorite experiences you've had in the Engler program?
Yeah, so the road trek to Austin, that was definitely a fun experience. Just something that I never thought would occur in my college career was just going on a literal program trip to Texas. You know, seeing other entrepreneurs around the U.S. was really fun. Learning that there's, you know, a lot of people out there that think like me. And then, you know, just being able to connect more with the people in the program. I remember sitting at the table late at night while a lot of the other upperclassmen were out doing some things at night. And it was me, Zachary Hirschman, his little sister, and a couple of others at the table, and we were playing card games probably for a good couple of hours. And, you know, it's just fun being able to sit there and actually, like, converse and learn more about my peers and about what they're wanting to do in life. And, you know, it's just, that was probably, like, one of the really fun times of just learned a lot about my friends, and got to just be in the moment.
Yeah, and that's what Engler gives us, is a sense of community, a place for community, connecting with other people. A lot of times that's what I hear from people, is that the people is what makes the Engler program. So I love that so much. And so going on to where you're from, your background, you're from Glenwood, right? From Glenwood, Iowa. And so you told me that you golfed, right?
I do, yes.
Yeah, so golfing, I think it'd be very hard to do, but you told me that it's pretty simple.
I mean, I feel, if you have hand-eye coordination, I feel feel like anyone can do it.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
Well, we'll see. Maybe I'll have to try it sometime. But in terms of golfing, how do you think that relates to your discipline as a student, graduating in 2 years, being an entrepreneur?
Yeah, golf definitely teaches you patience. I can say that for 4 years on the high school golf team and ending my senior year as the golf captain, golf teaches you patience, and I feel like you really need to have patience going into college. You're getting into a lot of group projects with your peers, and everyone thinks and does differently, so you have to have patience to maybe deal with someone who's doing something that you're not so sure about, but you know what? You do you.
Yeah.
Type of situation. And golf is definitely also like an outlet for me. It's a time where I can just go and be relaxed in a way and be like, I'm just here to have fun. I am here to enjoy being out in the great outdoors. And I genuinely love to golf, and I don't think I will ever stop until maybe I'm, hopefully in my 90s.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. Out on the green in the 90s,
Yes,
right?
yes, please.
Yeah.
I want to be one of the old ladies out there, like in one of those awesome outfits, just putting away
Yeah.
on a green.
Yeah, and everybody needs a hobby.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's great. Yeah. And so now talking about Engler again, for students coming into the program, what's some of the best advice you'd give to them when they're first walking up the steps, maybe thinking about a business they could start?
Yeah, if you have an idea for a business, sit down, talk it out with some people around you. That's the best way to really think about it. Talk to the people around you. They will give you insights that you might not have thought about. They will probably make you think a little bit more about, what do I need to do to start said business? What do I need to think about halfway through the business, say 5 years in the future? And definitely utilize the team here. Tom, Hallie, I know Dave is retiring, so that'll be sad. Yeah. But Michelle and Haley and, the entrepreneur in residence, they will always give you amazing advice, especially when it does come to businesses, because that's what they're here for.
Yeah. Taking advantage of all the opportunities that Engler has is so important. The scholarships, so many different things that we can do here. And so on campus, you've also been involved in many activities, Tractor Restoration Club, right?
Yep.
Yeah, could you tell us a little bit about that and how you got involved?
Yeah, so my grandpa on my mom's side ran the Northeast Nebraska Tractor Salvage Yard when I was a child. And so, I've always kind of just remembered running around the salvage yard. Probably not the safest for a 5-year-old to be running around a salvage yard. Probably some tetanus that could have happened. But, it's always just been like a connection to my grandpa because he passed in 2017 from cancer. And so, being able to come here and be like, oh, there's a literal club for tractor restoration. I was so happy to join it, and all the guys in the club have been so welcoming and awesome, and, we have a really good bond together. We went on a trip up to Canada this last summer, probably I think it was a week after the Austin trip, honestly. And, that was just super fun. Got to learn a lot more about them. It's a really close-knit group, and, anyone's welcome. That's the whole thing. Anyone is welcome. We're going to make jokes. We're going to tease, but at the end of it, we're a good friend group, and so it's a way to tie me to my past, but also see a future.
Yeah. So when you're restoring tractors, what's the process of that? Like, do you get in there fixing the engines?
Yeah, the guys do.
Oh.
I take a lot of photos for the group.
Yes.
I also help paint and touch up paint for them. That's probably the best thing for me. Anytime they need a little hand to go in and like screw something, I do that for them because, some of them have a little bit of fat fingers and,
Sure.
But yeah, I watch them restore the engines and do all of that, and I'm like, cool.
But you're a part of it.
But I'm a part of it, yeah. I sit there, and they're like, oh, we need you to do Bondo on something. I'm like, cool. Let me find a mask first.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. But you use your talents where you can, right?
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And it's not like you couldn't learn it. But
exactly. And it's
if the
not
guys
like
are willing to.
Yeah, and if
right?
you don't know how to restore a tractor, that's not going to exclude you from this club.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You know, I didn't know how to drive a stick before I got to college. And like 4 weeks into college, I'm driving a tractor for the first time in my life. And I'm like, okay, I didn't think I would learn how to drive a tractor during my college experience, but this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And it's this old 460, and I have to say my grandpa was a huge International fan. And so, you know, that kind of rubs down the family line. So I'm go big red in like 2 different ways, let's be honest.
So you're a red tractor person, not a green tractor.
I'm a red tractor fan.
Yes, I'd have to agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
Red tractor people.
Yes, red tractors.
Yeah. Well, that just shows you all the different experiences you can have in college and in 2 years.
Exactly.
All the different things you've been able to do. The Engler program, tractor restoration, Sigma Alpha as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and then I was also a part of the student government homecoming
Right.
Event coordination. So I helped out a lot with homecoming this last semester, which was really fun. You know, I got to meet a lot of different people through that. And I got to kind of see how everything comes together for a big event like that. But I think the largest thing that I really helped with was the blood drive.
Yeah.
And, you know, that was just an awesome thing to be a part of. I have given blood once before, and, you know, they are working towards a organization that is just so needed. Blood is always needed, and so, you know, being able to be like, hey, come donate.
Yeah.
Like, it was such an awesome thing to be a part of.
Yeah, being able to make impacts on all corners of campus through everything that you've been able to do. And so 20 years from now, what are you going to be most thankful for being a UNL student and being a part of the Engler program?
Yeah, probably the connections. You know, getting to know people such as yourself and learn more about them and what they're wanting to do in life. You know, I really hope I keep these connections 20 years in the future, because I want to be able to be like, hey, Olivia, how are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, and so I can really be thankful for just the connections and the people that it's brought into my life.
Definitely. Yes. Well, thank you so much, Katelyn, for being here today. I've loved hearing more about your story. And if anybody needs to know more about sewing or pottery, just talk to Katelyn.
Yes, text me anytime. I will teach.
Yes. Well, thanks for being here today, Katelyn.
Yes, it was awesome to be here. So, thank you.